well. So hope everyone enjoying their evening. It's evening where I am. Other places it could be afternoon, morning, the next day. So thank you for joining in. My name is Christopher D. Thomas, and welcome to WinsDay Evening Encore. We started the whole Wednesday, WINSDAY, on a Wednesday. We started it about 2 years ago. Year number one, simply, putting out some comments, via text on social media. And then our team met and said, hey, let's start doing some videos. So this year, early part of 2024, we've been doing videos Wednesday on a Wednesday. So WINS, like you winning, Wednesday on a Wednesday. So, so about 5 weeks ago, actually prior to that, we started talking and said, hey, let's go live on Wednesday evening and do an encore of what the Wednesday on a Wednesday topic, was about. And so we've been doing this. This is week number 5. We've been doing this, and we've gotten some really good feedback. So we're going to continue to keep this thing rolling and see what actually becomes of it. Right? We're going to see what becomes of it. So the thing about it is to be consistent. So we've been doing this for 5 weeks. I think this is week number 5. So before we get started on this enlightening session of Wednesday Evening Encore, to introduce myself, my name is Christopher D. Thomas. Now, if I'm looking at a few different places, I have Instagram going, we have TikTok going, and we have YouTube Live going on as well. So we have a few things that are going. So I'm your host, Christopher D. Thomas, and tonight we have a tackling a topic that's not just important. It's critical for the survival of and the growth of your business. Not only business owners, but individuals who are actually, working their own personal brands, as well individually. Either it's an author, or it could be a consultant, or it could be a doctor, could be, someone who's looking to do some other things, within their career field. So it could be their own personal brand. So the way this will be delivered will be good for both individuals with their own personal brands, and they're looking to develop or to enhance or to strengthen. And then it would be those, who have businesses, as well, who are looking to increase the strength and the growth of their own business. So the topic for this evening is innovate or die, brand evolution. And thank you so much for sharing this live. I really appreciate you. And I forgot to mention, please follow, share, save, turn on notifications. I wanted to thank you for a friend of mine. Actually just shared it over here on TikTok. So I really appreciate it. It actually jogged my memory. So like I mentioned, before we get started, please remind everyone to follow, share, save, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the transformative sessions. And we're going to embark on this journey together. Discover how innovation can transform your brand, help you create your success right now. So I'd like to start this off by telling you a story. Let me share a story about a company that you might not expect. Blockbuster Video. Remember them? At their peak, Blockbuster was the go-to place for movie rentals. But where are they now? There are a cautionary tale about the dangers of failing to innovate. So back in the early 2000s, there was a small company named Netflix that approached Blockbuster with a proposal to partner or for partnership. And Netflix had a new model, DVDs by mail, and eventually streaming services. Now, we do know it, during that recent live sports cast that everyone experienced not so good experiences with Netflix. That was one of their first tries at streaming live. They had some work to do. They are aware of that. But outside of that, we're not going to count that particular part. Netflix came with a new model. So at that particular time, they were in the DVDs by mail, right? And then eventually got into the streaming services. What did Blockbuster do? Blockbuster simply laughed them off. They were confident in their dominance. So fast forward a few years, Netflix became a household name. They revolutionized how people consume media. Blockbuster, on the other hand, filed for bankruptcy in 2010. So they didn't just lose market share, they lost everything because they refused to evolve. Now, I'm going to bring that closer to home. I'm going to share with you a client that we worked with. We're going to name her Susan in the event that the client could be watching. We're going to name her Susan. She once worked, we once worked with a bookstore owner, right? And her name, we're going to name her Susan. She had been in business for over 20 years. Susan's business was a staple, in the community. But with the rise of ebooks, online retailers, such as the Amazons of the world and the Book of Millions and et cetera, her sales were plummeting. Susan resisted to change. She held on to the nostalgia of physical books and the tradition of retail. So, as we always do when working with clients, we conduct a discovery session. And so what we asked is, do you want your business to be a memory or a legacy? And that question hit her hard. It was time for her to transform or to risk having to close her doors for good. So after that, what we decided to do is we went into a brainstorming session about ways to innovate. And so we started Susan hosting some virtual book clubs. We invited in some authors to do some Q&A sessions via live streams, offered a curated subscription service delivering books to customers' homes with some personalized notes. And she also started to embrace social media because she wasn't at first. Embrace social media to a point to engage with a wider audience. So what was the result? Not only did Susan sales recover, but she also built a thriving online community that extended beyond her local area. So now we're expanding her area because at one point she was only dependent on the community, people coming in to actually to purchase books. But now she's expanded outside of the local area. Susan, we didn't just save Susan's business, we helped her to evolve it. So here's the problem that what we find in many businesses become complacent. They rely on outdated models that no longer work in a dynamic marketplace. They resist change. Many of them say, hey, this is the way we've always done it. Thinking what worked before will always work forever. And with the harsh reality is that without innovation, your business is on a slow march to being obsolete. Competitors are emerging every day, with new ideas, technologies, methods, rendering, different offers to them. So customers' needs are evolving, their expectations are evolving. If we don't keep up, our businesses will be a second thought. So how do we solve it? It's time to embrace innovation. Innovation is the lifeblood of a brand's evolution. We have to discover new technologies, transform our business models, create success now by staying ahead of the curve. This doesn't mean abandoning your core values or your mission statement, but it means enhancing them in order to meet demands of a modern marketplace. So I'm going to give you 5 actionable strategies that you can take immediately. 5 action strategies that you can take immediately. If you're a business owner with a brand, or if you are an individual working on your own personal brand, maybe within your career, if you want to be known as an HR executive, in order to become a speaker, if you're an author, if you're a director right now looking to increase your brand to VP or C-level suite, all of these things that we're sharing with you this evening are going to help you. So here are 5 actionable strategies that you can implement immediately. Now, stay informed is one. Keep up with industry trends, emerging technologies, changing consumer behaviors, because knowledge is power. A lot of times, you hear the word demographics. What's the demo? What's the demographics? Demographics is a visual part. It's important. It is very important, but it's the visual part of marketing research and your target audience. There's a whole nother thing out there that's called a psychographic, where it talks about the habits, the lifestyle, the trends of where people are thinking, the things that we really can't see, but what makes us individual, right? So, for instance, to give you an example of that, okay, myself, I'm a Black male, obviously, right? I happen to be 6'1", all right? And tonight I have on a blue shirt, So what if you had another Black male who can't stand blue? They only like the color white. So that's a subgroup because of a habit or a lifestyle that you have Black men who only like to wear white. That's a subgroup, right? And so that sometimes some of those things are not necessarily as obvious. And that's just a simple example of how a psychographic, actually works. It could be someone who likes coffee, in particular Starbucks, or in particular Dunkin' Donuts coffee, or Quick Trip, QT Coffee. Actually, they do have good coffee. Quick Trip does. So we have to stay informed and understand the behaviors about our target audience, because it's always changing. We have to, second is to embrace technology, whether if it's adopting an e-commerce, utilizing social media marketing, leveraging AI for customer service, finding technologies that's going to enhance our operations. There's what's called a high touch and low touch when it comes to customer service. And technology can help us with that. 3, encourage creativity. Foster an environment where new ideas are welcome. Your team could be a great source of innovation if you allow them to experiment and to think outside of the box. 4, listen to your customers. You'd be surprised about how many companies that we work with who do not listen to their customers. Government agencies who, do not listen to their constituents. I mean, they say that they're listening, but they're not really listening. Listen to your customers. Use feedback to drive innovation. What are their pain points? How can you solve problems that didn't even know they had? And number 5 is collaborate. Partner with other businesses or influencers to bring fresh perspectives and reach new audiences. All right. So those are the 5 things you can implement immediately in a strategy you can implement immediately in order to, change your brand around completely. So those 5 again: stay informed, embrace technology, encourage creativity, listen to your customers, and collaborate. Remember that innovation isn't just a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. The goal is to stay continuous improvement, to always continuously improve. That's the goal. So as you're absorbing all of this, think about areas in your own personal brand. Think about areas in your business that have become stagnant. Where can you inject innovation? If you're unsure where to start or need some guidance on this journey, reach out to me. We're here. I offer personal consultations to help business owners, owners with their business brands or individuals with their personal brands, craft a tailored innovation strategy. Together we can transform your challenges into opportunities. So reflecting back on Susan's story, she told me something that was very profound. She said that, she realized that innovation wasn't about changing who she was. It was about becoming a better version of herself. So by choosing to evolve, she didn't lose her identity. Instead, she strengthened it. So remember that story I shared with you about Blockbuster? Blockbuster had all the resources to innovate, but they lacked the vision. So don't let that be your story. Choose to evolve rather than choose to evolve before the circumstances force you to. A lot of times, some people are forced to evolve, and by that time, it's when they're forced, it's actually too late, for them to evolve. So now, here's a call to action. This is what I'm gonna give you a challenge. I challenge you to take a hard look at your personal brands, hard look at your businesses. Identify one area that you can implement a new idea or technology this week. Most of you, depending on where you're watching, There's a holiday tomorrow. You may have a little bit of downtime, with some family. Think about a new idea that you can implement, or a new piece of technology that you can implement into your business or into your personal brand this week. It doesn't have to be monumental. Small changes have a significant impact over time. The thing about it is that we have to start today. Take that first steps towards innovation. For those who are ready to take a deeper dive, we have tons of information on our website. Our website address is inmm.group, Group, inmm.group. It's not a .com, it's a .group, Group. We're here for you. Let's work together, create your success right now, and ensure that your brand not only survives, but it thrives. So before we conclude, I'm excited to announce our topic for next week's WinsDay Evening Encore. And that is breaking the branding mold. Breaking the branding mold. We're going to explore how stepping outside traditional branding conventions can set you apart from a crowded market. It's crowded and it's loud. Everyone's trying to get your attention. I just had this conversation with a client, today. It is loud. With the everyone's on social media. People can boost on social media as well, right? With your fingertips, you can expand your audience, as well. It is very loud. So how can you break the mold? We're going to explore how stepping outside of the box of traditional methods setting yourself apart from a crowded market. This is going to be about unleashing creativity, daring to be different. So trust me, you do not want to miss that particular session. So that's going to be next Wednesday, the next WinsDay Evening Encore. So remember to follow, share, save, turn on notifications, so you'll be the first to know when we go live. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me this evening, afternoon, maybe morning, wherever you are, or wherever you may be watching this. Remember that innovation is not just a buzzword, it's a necessity. The choice is clear. Innovate or die. Innovate or die. But you're not alone on this journey. I'm here to guide you, provide insight, help you navigate the complexities of brand evolution. So feel free to share your thoughts and questions and comments, in with me, in the feeds, in the comment area. I know Instagram, this will stay on my page. Of course, YouTube, this will be on the YouTube channel. Unfortunately, TikTok doesn't allow this particular, doesn't allow the recording to stay on the page. So if you want this recording, go ahead and follow my YouTube channel, Christopher D, the letter D, Thomas, Christopher D. Thomas, and search it, and you'll be able to look at this video and to follow it along in the event that you miss some information. Feel free to share your thoughts and comments. Let's keep this conversation going. We're creating community. So don't forget to share this session, with someone who could benefit from these insights. And until next time, keep innovating, keep evolving, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Your success story starts now. So thank you very much. Have a good evening.